Welcome to Hey Clarity. I'm your host, Lindsay, and today we are doing a collective Akashic Records reading for the month of January. The questions that we're going to ask: what's the opening message or opening visual? And then we're going to go through the energy of each week. What's the energy of the first week, second week, third week, and last week of January? What gifts and challenges will January bring? And finally, what's the most important message we need to know about January? Let's get into it. First question. The opening message or opening visual for the collective for January 2025. They're saying feedback of feelings. Loops of feelings, like a roundabout, cycles of feelings, a cycle of feelings, a process, a progression, like heightened, amplified, and then like it runs its course and then diminished. There's this flow, the undercurrents, the overcurrents. There's all these layers of our feelings flowing, almost like an overflowing, overwhelming. We're overwhelmed by our feelings, the flow cycles of our feelings. Anything else? Kind of this idea of like the flow of cycles, the overflow of cycles of feelings. That's the opening message, opening visual, and that this could be overwhelming. We could feel overwhelmed by our emotions and our feelings. What's the energy of the first week of January specifically? Seems like the first week could be where there's the overflow, the overflowing. And I feel almost like this sense of like this river coming from my solar plexus, like it's like pulling. And there's something about our, like the impact of our emotions and our feelings on our solar plexus, how it impacts our confidence levels. Even the confidence of our feelings and like attaching to them, detaching from them, like how much we associate they're saying like over emotions and over feelings. So it's this like this conscious well-being. They just keep saying overflowing. And it's pulling. It feels like it's pulling out of us either our overconfidence or our lack of confidence due to our emotions and feelings. So the first week is this like overflow, this overflowing. And it could be, they're saying like the untidying of emotions. It could be that the stressors and the overwhelm of like the new year, what that means to us. We could just feel very overwhelmed. Like there's a lot on our plate. There's a lot on our plates as a collective of like, what is this new beginning? What is this new cycle? And what the new year usually brings: the insight, the reflectiveness, like the end of a year, of a calendar year, and the beginning of a new calendar year, and how all of that impacts our emotions and our feelings. And so they're kind of like take it down a notch. Like there's no pressure just because there's a new year, but it is an opportunity to be reflective. However, if this is creating if you're so overwhelmed, if your emotions and your feelings become so overwhelming, that's obviously not a place to be making any decisions. It's not a decision. There's no decision making in the first week, like zero. It feels like the first week is like a purging and a detoxing and almost like allowing the chips to fall where they may. They're saying accessing and assessing, accessing and assessing these like inner feelings, inner emotions. They're even saying for some of us, like our inner demons, like some of our overwhelming emotions could be bringing out the worst in us because we are being self-protective. And a lot of times like aggression and anger and resentment and things like reactivity like that is usually protecting something that's more raw and vulnerable, like on a deeper level. What's the energy of the second week of January? They're like calming down. Calming down. The second week is calming down. Again, with this idea of no pressure, like no pressurized emotions and feelings. Anything else? What is the energy of the second week of January? It's no pressurized. It's like, I think it feels like the realization that like, they're like, it's not just time. Like we get really stressed about deadlines and time and years and months and plans and strategies. And they're like, it's not just time. It's also your well-being. And so it's almost like getting time and your concept of time, your plans, your strategies, your goals, your dreams, to be more online with like your emotions and your feelings. Because your emotions and your feelings are messages of something. They're like something that doesn't feel right, something that could be wrong, some sort of wrongdoing, something that's unbalanced or mismatched. And so needing to just have more awareness of your emotions and your feelings, recognizing that they're telling you, they're mentioning, they're sending your brain messages and information that like something needs balancing, something needs to be fixed, something needs to be accessed and addressed. And so it feels like we're like linking time and well-being. We're recognizing that we're having the recognition that we need to be more balanced in our like reactivity around concepts of time and our true well-being, like what is best for us. What's the energy of the third week in January? They're giving the word blockade, strategies, strategizing, blocks, stagnant. So it could be that because of these overflowing feelings and emotions, we fall into habits of perhaps like self-sabotaging or shooting yourself in the foot, making, decision making that actually is not benefiting you, cutting corners, like it's something gets stopped or things are stagnant or not moving forward. But it's a blessing in disguise because we're not ready. Like there's no readiness yet. And so it seems like anything that we may have wanted to set in motion, we could feel frustrated and have reactions towards like seemingly failures or something being stalled or not working out. And they're just like, it's just like taking a break. They're like, break it down, have a breakdown, have a breakthrough. Like we might feel a lot of frustration in the third week around our new ideas, but this is a blessing in disguise because they need to be like reevaluated. We need to like sit on them longer. We need to be like nurturing the new ideas longer. And I'm getting this like this wave, like I'm at a beach and I'm at the shore and the water is coming and going and coming and going. And it's like these new ideas were in this like overflowing, could be also like flow state mentality, which is great, right? New ideas, new concepts, but again, no decision making. So we're letting this kind of, these new ideas come and go right now, come and go, come and go. These flow states are going to kick in here and there, but we're not necessarily going to have the like tangible material, like actionable steps forward yet, which can cause frustration. But what they're saying is the tides are kind of like bringing things to you, bringing things for you, taking things away, bringing things towards you. And it's like, I'm standing at the ocean, the tide is coming up, it's receding, coming up, receding. And at some point, at one point, something tangible actually like flows to my feet. So we are in this process. They're kind of saying like this undulation, these undulating emotions and feelings, undulating flow states coming and going until the like material, tangible thing washes up on shore and you're like, oh, that's the thing, got it. And then you can grab it, then you can grasp it, then it's yours. But they're saying it's like, it's kind of an undulating time and we need to have patience and be patient and not to like force anything. It seems like no action, like long-term just yet. This is like the get new ideas time. We talk about resolutions and they're like, okay, interesting. So they just said like resolution, revolution, resolution, revolution, revolutionary new ideas, revolutionary new ideas. And it seems like that's why we're taking the time. That's why it's important. And when we have these blocks or these blockades or these like early failures or things that seem like they're not going anywhere, it's like, wait, like be present. Something still needs to pan out. Something still needs to be figured out, and just like let the patience set in to like let that all come to fruition more for you until it's something physical, tangible that you can touch, you can see, you can feel. It's like something that's real that's going to happen. Okay, energy of the fourth week. What's the energy of the last week? That's so funny. When I did that, they also just said blowing out, like almost like just breathe. Like, there's a little bit more surrendering in the last week. They're like, just breathe, just breathe. Like the overflowing becomes just the flowing. We surrender a little bit more to the tides. There's a little bit more trust in the timing. We have like recognition of divine timing and trusting in that. We'll have these little golden nuggets of like proof, of evidence that like we're on the right path in that last week. They're also saying like colleagues, collaboration, like social network. We're less isolated in our new ideas. They become more collaborative. They're like exchange, interactions. Not like isolated in a vacuum, like gripping onto these ideas solo. It's like we let them live and we're like sharing ideas, our new ideas with each other. And it's almost like that's where things can materialize. That's where they can become more tangible, more realistic. They can come to reality, dreams come true. So we start to make the connections, colleagues, collaborations, groups, sharing, social in that last week. And it's like that last week is dipping in, it's Aquarius season. We are in Aquarius season. And it's like Aquarius season of the Aquarian age. And so we're planting the seeds here. These little like shining, they're like light seeds. These little light seeds. They're like, it's the beginning. It's the beginning. Like the very beginning. So that's the importance of being patient. What gifts and challenges will January bring the collective? What gifts and challenges will bring the I'm getting colleagues and collaborations, like new people, new places. And like being joyful in our process. There's more like excitement and joy and this feeling of abundance for the future. Like we can feel that way of abundance. How about the challenges? What challenges will January bring? The overwhelm, the overflowing of emotions, that blockade, that stagnancy. They're repeating it. And they're like self-sufficient self-sabotage. And what is our relationship to independence and self-sufficiency? And almost like how that can be self-sabotaging, or how we self-sabotage being in our vacuum sometimes, being isolated, being so independent, thinking on your own solo, thinking too much solo, versus sharing your ideas, the liberation of your ideas, the growth of your ideas, like making them a reality. And they keep saying dreams come true in the Aquarian age. Dreams come true in the Aquarian age. And then to like share your dreams with others. And so finding those collaborators, finding those right colleagues, finding the right relationships in your life. They're saying it's like pivotal. They're calling it a pivotal challenge. Very important challenge. What's the most important message we need to know about January? What's the most important message we need to know about January? The face of figures faces off. They reminded me of like the movie Face Off. They're like face off. Like masks come off, faces come off. And like the inner working behind the mask, behind our masks becomes very clear. There's like a transparency, almost like a veil comes off. Like we can see each other very clearly. And they're like, see it to be clear. They're just saying like the face comes off, the masks come off. And this transparency almost like helps us overcome the feelings, the emotions, because it's like the truth. For ourselves, like for yourself. This is something that happens in private. And then it's appreciated in public. It's appreciated in the external world. We're looking for realness. We're looking for the truth. We want a new, healthy, clear reality. And so to do it for yourself first in private, in privacy and then walk around the world with this mask, with your mask off. The realness, you know. And that's kind of how we're finding each other in community. That's how we're finding those right relationships, collaborations, and colleagues. Taking the mask off, you know, the truth of our voices, being heard, being seen for who we really are. That's the most important message about January. So those overwhelming the overflowing emotions, the feelings, they serve a greater purpose for yourself. And like, let the messy part, let that all be in private, right? It's kind of like how you step into the world after that with your truth, your realness, your true face, your true voice, to be seen and to be heard, so that you can find the right relationships. Okay? All right. So that was the Akashic Records collective messages for the month of January. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know how that resonates with you in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.